we could see like an advertisement from back then.
I don't think they exist anymore. I'd say they've all been burned out.
Don't have any.
Lost to the void.
Probably gone.
I
wish we. Oh my God! Oh, look at that.
Welcome back to Arsenic Culture. I'm Matt.
I'm Jason.
And we are here with some very special guests, Anthony and Kenny over at the Mashup Podcast. How you guys doing?
Good. How y'all doing?
Welcome.
Yeah. We appreciate you guys coming on for our 100th episode. 100th. I almost said anniversary, but it's definitely not the 100th anniversary.
We ain't that old, damn.
Yeah. When I heard this was your 100th episode, I was like, what the heck are you thinking having us on?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, that's
You
what
better, not cuss on our damn show. We don't put up with that on this show.
Oh, you don't put up with cussing?
No cussing.
Oh, wow.
No fucking cussing at all.
Yeah, so we're really excited. We have a super special bourbon here that we found in the gutter on the way over here.
Yeah.
We just drove by and it was laying in there. So, I mean, it doesn't really need an intro. We got the King of Kentucky here, but I'm going to...
Oh, me? Yeah, I am the King of Kentucky.
Do the intro? There you go.
Well, I can't do an intro on this one. All right, so King of Kentucky is what we want to do today. But before we get into it, though, just a little something about... So, episode 100 for us, looking back through this, Matt, episode 1, do you remember what it was?
Yes, it was... No, I have no idea.
My Cookie Dealer.
That's right, yeah.
So that was in December of 2020, first release.
We've actually done, you've never done a food episode with us.
I have not.
Anthony.
I'm
This is your virgin here, so we're getting ready.
I'm ready for the crickets. I heard y'all have crickets. That's what I've heard.
We did.
That's what I heard. That's what I'm here for.
We do some food stuff occasionally. I love the food episodes. We just can't ever find fucking shit to do.
But looking back at that one too, though, like we didn't have any headphones at all. We didn't have one mic. All we had was one mic in the center.
Oh, we had an audio recorder.
Yep.
Set it up in the middle of the table, and it's like if you pounded the table, you could just hear it like echo and resonate. It was the most ghetto bullshit ever.
It was, and now we're fully wireless today.
Yeah.
So that's a big,
mobile, no
one.
wires anywhere. Yeah, this is pretty badass.
It's kind of freaking me out a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm used to talking microphone,
Yeah,
all right, so that's all I wanted to say. I just wanted to go back about episode 1 a little bit,
fun,
reminisce.
Man. Yeah.
So let's start out. King Kentucky. This is 2024's version. There's 5,100 bottles total of this one released. They're single barrels, so there's going to be different ones. The previous versions of this one have been 4,000 bottles or less, so it's a pretty big increase there. 16 years old. You can see it here on the label. But one thing about this label, Matt, what proof is it?
Doesn't say.
Doesn't say. So usually on the outside of the...
I was expecting that to be a trick question because he's an asshole like that. And I was like, it's got to be on there somewhere.
Some lemon juice.
Yeah.
So usually it's on
Lick
there.
your thumb and rub it on there and it starts to like come out. Like the little naked lighters. Do you remember the naked lighters? You get them warm and then like the top comes off? Oh, yeah.
I remember that.
Anyways, hijack.
So this... You can hijack me anytime, Matt. Yeah. Anthony, you can too. But this one here...
said lick your finger and rub his white cock.
So it should be on there, but it's not. So we're going to crack it open out of a little tube here. So this is 66.25% ABV, so 132.5 proof. There's 96 bottles from this barrel, and this is bottle number 80.
All right.
This is Warehouse G, location, I think it's I, Rick 15, barrel 42. Mash bill, 79% corn, 11% rye, and 10% malted barley.
Ooh.
So, fellas.
Looks gross.
I know you all have had King of Kentucky several times.
Year in, year out, man. I say it's the absolute best single barrel released every year.
Yeah.
And this year on our podcast, we did a 2024, and we also had our best of blinds. We all kind of we didn't dog it. We just said we didn't think it was up to the snuff of the previous years.
Right.
And then it goes into blind.
But it's still, but in the blinds, it's still just
that's
boom.
hilarious. I think it's like number 4 or something like that. So
Yeah.
it was the top whiskey, yeah.
As you're talking, I'm trying to open the damn
But we did notice,
I don't know if I can.
well, the
This is gonna be
wax,
great.
for the King
Used to
Kentucky, used to always have it's got their crack.
Hairline
Hairline
crack,
crack.
right, yeah.
The new wax, man, they
get
have,
started?
they
Yeah,
have,
please.
they have figured out the wax on the new ones.
Use your brute strength that you have
So
there.
what was the first year? It was 2018? I think that's the
2018,
first
I
year.
think.
I actually got one the first year. I think I've told this story before, but I will tell it again. So I went to Liquor Barn, one of our big box stores here in town, and walked in. It was on the counter, one bottle. I'm like, what the hell? I don't even know what it was. I had no idea.
How long ago was that?
I guess it was
2018.
If it wasn't 2018, it's 2019, but I think it was 18. I texted one of our friends, Charlie Eaton.
Yeah.
I said, hey, man, do you want this? I don't know anything about it. He goes, nah, I don't think I want that one. It seems a little pricey, you know? So I grabbed the bottle, went to the bar and sat, and got a pour of this. They had it on the tasting bar. And I tried it. While I'm sitting there, 2 different people come up to me, tried to buy the bottle from me while I'm sitting there, and I haven't even checked out.
No shit,
man.
really?
So I'm like, well, at this point, I'm going to regret
take it.
I'm going to regret passing. I'm going to regret buying and taking it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, very excited to try this one. I've had it a couple times. Matt, have you ever tried one of them?
I have not, no.
There it goes.
Okay.
It's open. It's officially opened.
Boom.
Let's see how it is.
Man.
What does it smell like? It smell like grape skin and...
Smells like $1,600 to $1,700 secondary. It smells like.
I love the fact that you passed it this way first.
I did.
Dang,
Hell with
Matt.
Matt. Hell with Matt.
It's his 100th episode. What are you doing? It's his 100th.
Pass it around. We'll be good.
No,
Kenny wants to be last on
It's your 100th episode, bro.
I was like, come on, here we go.
Thank you, Kenny.
Here we
Appreciate
go.
you, yeah.
Goodness gracious.
This is the weirdest, like, pass around.
It is. It is. We got a big
crisscross,
old table, but it's pretty nice.
Stephen could be here crisscrossing crap.
yeah. There you go.
So MSRP on this one about $350. I think that's what I paid for it this year. Or last year, whatever it was. Secondary, what I'm seeing about $1,500, $1,700. Is that what you're seeing, Kenny, Anthony?
Yeah. I mean, unless it's like a super shorty. So
Yeah.
if it's like a 20, 30 bottle
Yeah.
yield or something. But yeah, 16 to 17 still though.
Yeah.
And this whiskey, year in and year out, not to interrupt you, sorry, Kenny, is constantly holds its value. You never see a King Kentucky come out and then go down. Like,
Right.
if you see the initial prices, somebody wants
Initial
to get rid
price
of one.
always pops at 2 to 21 just because
Yeah.
for some reason people I guess they think they're not going to get one.
Right.
So like they overpay initially just to make sure they have one. I'm like, but you're going
Well,
to get
it's
one.
FOMO. You're
And then it just drops and
missing
it
out.
settles usually 16, 17.
But once it settles, it doesn't usually go anywhere from that besides up.
No reason for it to,
It doesn't lose value,
We,
you know.
we're familiar with beer too. So, like in my experience with beer secondary, same way. The initial release of something, it's going to be crazy high. Beer drops quicker than bourbon, though. You're going to get down there pretty low within like 2 weeks.
Yeah,
Bourbon might take a couple months. Depends on when everybody else gets a distro, you know.
Right.
And so,
I'm not
Go
into
ahead,
beer
please.
at all. But doesn't beer like you have to drink it? Now, I guess some they say are better 5-6 years later on some of that stuff. But in general, a lot of the beers they lose it quicker though, right?
they do.
You gotta-
It depends on what kind of beer it is. Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
A lot of the popular ones you see, like the IPAs and the hoppy
Yeah.
stuff, pale ales. Yeah, if you don't drink them within a few months,
a month
or something
or-
like
yeah,
that,
that's what I thought, yeah,
they start
okay.
to quote unquote skunk.
Yeah, right.
But they're like they're sours out of Belgium, and they'll actually say on the bottle, can age for up to 30 years?
No, I think most of them go 15 to
young?
20, but honestly, I've seen some.
Yeah.
I've seen some 50 plus.
Yeah,
Like, yeah.
I mean, they really just kind of like open up over time, like a fine wine, really. But it's a very distinct, very acquired taste.
Yeah.
Some people like them. I love it. My wife says it tastes like shit. It's just like licking a lemon, because it's hard. So,
Spray some pledge in your mouth.
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So Anthony, King of Kentucky, what do you know about it? Tell me one fact.
King of Kentucky, the thing that I know about it is that it was a long-owned brand by Brown-Forman, but it was only revived in 2018. Like, it lied dormant, if you will, for a long time, asleep in the wood.
Good point.
You sound like the
Are you Julian Van Winkle right now?
I'm Julian Van Winkle, okay?
Get your little lemon.
But it was, get some lemon and put it in there.
That's how he
But
drinks
no,
his bourbon.
that's what I know about it. That it's and I just want to say this real quick because you talked about your experience. I also was able to get my hands on a 2018 just to frame for people how much bourbon has changed.
Right.
I get that 2018. At that time, I'm relatively new to buying bourbon and collecting it and drinking it, everything like that. I was only just drink a bottle, I like it, I'll buy another one. So King Kentucky, ultra premium, had one on the shelf. Person's like, I know nothing about it. We got it in, but nobody wants it. And I'm like, nobody wants it, huh? So I buy it and I'm holding on to it. I read all the reviews that say it wasn't good. People are like, oh, this is not good.
Yeah.
It's over oaked. It's trash.
What
it's
year
blah,
did you say
blah,
this was?
blah. This is the
2018.
first release.
Okay.
So I hold on to that bottle, and I'll never forget this. That was one of the first bottles I ever posted like an enthusiast group.
Right.
It was asking like, I think $600 for it. And somebody from like 3 hours away has messaged me out, $550. I'll give you $550. And I'm like, I'll take it. And guess what? They never showed up.
Really?
They never showed up. And then Months later, I think I took $550 for that bottle from someone. I don't remember who it was, and now I think that bottle's what, $3,000?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Whatever it was. And I really didn't at the time. It was because I wasn't like used to having premium whiskey, so I didn't even think about it. So you asked for one fact. I told you my whole story.
No,
and I
it's
still can't-
good.
I kick myself to this day that I sold that dang bottle. I'd love to have it back.
You think
love
about
to have it
that
back.
in 2018. I mean, the most expensive bottles probably that one and what a Willet, like one of those Willet
Right.
like wax
I think it was
tops.
like a $200 retail bottle, wasn't
I
it?
remember going in. Yeah, I would say at least probably. I think when I bought it, it was like $220 at Liquor Barn or
Right.
something.
$220 bucks, I think
But
it was.
I remember like going in Liquor Barn and seeing those Willets like that, just sitting on the end caps,
Yeah.
like a little glass case kind of thing
Right,
up there. Nobody's buying that stuff. Now it wouldn't last 2 seconds.
Yeah, no, I want that one back. I don't even know. First release King of Kentucky's, they're probably a couple $1,000 at least.
And then also brown-forman. You know, back then when somebody said brown-forman, I thought of what, Woodford? I mean, that's what I'm thinking of.
yeah,
That's honestly the only thing I'm thinking of. I wasn't even thinking Jack Daniels at that time. Like,
right.
just thinking Woodford. I didn't want to pay $220 for a bottle of
For
Woodford.
a bottle of Woodford. Yeah.
Mr. 90.4.
Double oaks.
quadruple double oak. I don't know how that works. So looking at too, I mean the recipe on this one. So it's the early times
Early
recipe.
times.
Yeah, which is crazy, right?
Barrel
to think
proof,
about.
ultra aged, early times.
And the only two things that I can see that use this as well, the same recipe, is the Old Forester 1924 and then Cooper's Craft line for that one.
Oh, Cooper's Craft is too?
Yeah.
That would explain it.
That's why I said it's one of the better ones for the money.
I mean, I feel like that's everywhere, you know, pretty readily available.
Yeah.
I
didn't
guess,
realize that.
You know, one thing I looked at this too, looking at the first release of this one. So I guess the tasting team, they talked about identify barrels 7 years ahead of time. They pulled them from the heat cycle warehouses once they identified them, then moved them into the unheated single-story warehouses on the south end of campus, aged another 7 years. So the first release, 14-year-old.
Okay.
The reason they did that, allowing less evaporation and loss, kind of what Buffalo Trace is doing now with that temp-controlled warehouse, is that, I don't know, it's not X. I can't remember the damn name of that one, though.
Warehouse P.
P.
I was just there today.
See?
Got
Over
my
there.
proof right here.
Nice.
Whoop, whoop. Okay.
Where's that CYPB? That's the proof.
That's none of your business. But yes, Warehouse P.
You're good. No, that's it. I mean, really, what are y'all thinking about this one? I mean, how's the nose to you all?
Oh, God.
I know we've tasted it too, but just starting on the nose.
Cherry, it's oaky.
Yeah.
I'm getting like bananas Foster.
I get super sweet, like a dark cherry, dark fruit of some type. It smells great to me.
I get also like some cigar notes, and I'm not a cigar smoker, but I'm talking like take a tobacco, leather tobacco, but like the char, like smell a cigar kind of, that's kind of what it gives off to me. And then weirdly enough, so my problem with the one that we tasted and the one that Kenny got for the tasting was 126 proof, I think. I think it was 126 proof. And it was Warehouse J. I don't know if that makes any difference. He's come from different places. That one to me had more of like a fine aged, almost like a Scotch nose to it, which is what I think turned me off about
Sounds awful to me.
This has more of the King of Kentucky nose that I'm used to with that char, that beautiful char. And then like, I mean, y'all are going to think I'm crazy, but
We already do.
I get a little bit of like buttered popcorn
Yeah.
too, which is interesting.
Like kettle corn?
Yeah, like kettle corn, like buttered
Like
popcorn.
burnt kettle corn?
Like the shit sticking at the bottom. At the end of the fair where they got to take the ore
No.
and they're like scraping it off with the ore. Is that the?
No,
is that
I'm
what you're
talking
about?
like
I
just
thought
a
it was
little
more.
bit.
That was a little more melon to me.
Little
than
bit.
the popcorn.
Just like Club Blue.
You guys are killing me.
What about you, Matt? What are you thinking? Anything different?
No,
than
it's. I
Bananas
mean,
Foster?
it's confectionery for me. It's super sweet.
So
On the taste for me, like it's almost
you tasted it already?
reminiscent. I have like 3 times.
I think you're the one. That
Like Coy Hill.
wow.
What are you
No,
getting
this
on? What are you getting on the taste, Kenny?
Yeah, tobacco, cherry, a little leathery.
Do you get Coy Hill vibes from it? Like I get a little bit of that. I feel like some of the Jack Daniels I've had that have been over. I think I've had
But
2
here's
of
the thing:
them.
Coy Hills are 9 to 10 years old.
Good point.
So this, you could say Coy Hill vibes, but with a much more oak and leather to it because it's just and more woody. I mean, just definitely more woody. Just since it's 16 years old, right? So
I actually saw that the King of Kentucky was first basically the first time it ever came out was 1881 by a guy named J.M. Robb out of Owensboro, Kentucky.
Okay.
And the slogan was "None better for the price." We kind of talked about this beforehand, and it was a budget bourbon. I mean, it was basically bottom. Well, it was considered, I guess, a mid shelf tier bourbon, but it was like cheap, and it was the best bang for your buck. So basically, just like it'll get you fucked up.
I wish we could see like a advertisement from back then.
I don't think they exist anymore. I'd say they've all been burned up.
Don't have any.
Lost to the void.
Probably gone.
You son
I wish
of a
we.
gun.
Oh my God! Oh, look at that!
Crazy.
So this, Kenny, you said you know the person that I would have bought this from?
Yeah.
So Kenny knows the person I got this from, but I got this from a shop in Midway. We
really?
can pass this
During
around.
a
but
festival.
this is an old 1945 King of Kentucky ad. And the funniest thing about this is it says it's delightful, right?
Delightful.
And
Okay.
it says, be right, drink light, and it's stressing that this is light because this is actually cheap stuff.
Yeah.
This is when they were competing with clear spirits,
Diet whiskey.
and it was diet whiskey. It was 86 proof and
That's
60% grain neutral spirits.
Oh my
So it had some
God.
well-aged stuff in there. We can pass that around.
That's
You guys can
hilarious.
look
Dude,
at
that is awesome.
The opposite of that.
This is-
60% grain neutral and 40% straight whiskeys, aged 51 months.
51 months.
That's a
Think
lot of
about
months.
The
that.
black label.
Isn't that amazing?
That's crazy.
It is how much you came, how bourbons came from that. I mean, I guess at this you said the 40s or something. This
That's
was?
1945 that ad's from.
So when was Prohibition? Gosh, I should know that.
1918?
That seems right. 18 to 20 something through there.
So
So
after
after
you come back
Prohibition,
through
but
there-
they've got so much probably stock, they're trying to move it. I'm guessing at that point still. Maybe not. I don't know. I guess the drinkers in America kind of switch gears, right?
Well, there was it during the, I don't know which war, where vodka really became super popular.
Yeah.
And it's like Anthony was saying, everybody was really going to neutral spirit. That was the thing. So
You look a little bit
that
later
kinda
than that.
that preceded the fucking crazy decanters and like people getting all like weird with their bottles and shit.
yeah.
You look back then too, like the Mad Men era, watching now. I think it's like 50s and 60s.
Yeah.
They're all drinking the vodka, gin, all that stuff. Like it's all clear for the
Yeah.
most part. You'll have some scotch or something like that, but overall.
Except that one episode where the one guy was an alcoholic and he got really drunk.
Yeah.
And he comes in, he's like, "You want a drink?" He was like, "Yeah." And he took his rocks glass and he poured it up to the top with bourbon. And he just looks at it. He's like, "What the fuck am I supposed to do with this?" He's walking around pissing his pants because he's drunk all the time. God,
that's how we should be. That's
that's a
how we
great
should be.
fucking show. All I can do.
I
right
did
now.
not. I did not mean to cut you off though, Matt. Did you have
No,
anything else?
the other thing I was going to say is it was discontinued in 1968, brought back in 2018, like Anthony was mentioning over there. The highest recorded, I guess, actual sale of it, like at an auction that I could find, not specific number, but because they couldn't release that information, but it was actually 2022, an 18-year-old single barrel sold for between $4,000 and $5,000.
Oh, wow. Okay.
But if you go on Wine Searcher, which is a website where you can list a bunch of shit, there's one listed.
It's a great website.
Yeah, one listed for $11,143.
Okay.
Just one bottle.
Okay.
Yeah, so
Damn.
if you want one real bad, you can just go ahead and grab that.
Only
one.
$11K?
I'm sure it looks nice.
$11,143.
Yeah,
It's
I've seen higher than 4 to 5 on our enthusiast markets.
Yeah,
But
I have to. For these,
back then,
yeah.
well,
Oh, sure.
for the 18-year ones back a
Yeah.
couple years ago.
Yeah.
How about we just go back to 1945 and I just get some vodka?
Shit.
I could get shit-faced and not
I know.
taste it.
Yeah, can you mix a bunch of neutral spirits in this for me?
Yeah, please. Can somebody get some vodka to mix in here, please?
No, this is fucking fantastic, man.
Yeah, I mean, I think for a 100th episode, we couldn't have probably opened. Well, we could open a lot of different things, but I've been excited to open this one for sure.
Yeah.
This is chewy.
It is.
It's like very viscous.
You talked about Chris Morris there a little bit, though. I mean, you look at his awards and stuff. So the master distiller over all this, Old Forester, Woodford, Jack Daniels. I know he's not just their only distiller there, but he's the head of it, right? Like he's over all that.
He has anything to do with Jack, does he?
I think he does. He's listed as it.
I guess he is
yeah.
listed. That's right. Wow.
But it's kind of like one of those things too. Like he's not the guy that's hands on every day for sure. You know what I mean? I'm sure he was at one point. Hell, they've also got Herradura tequila underneath him and Corbell Winery. I mean, stuff like that.
Really?
But under Brown-Forman. I mean, that's kind of where he's at.
Yeah.
So looking at that, he created the bourbon flavor wheel in 2002. Did you know that? That's what they're claiming.
Really?
No shit.
Now he's created
There are
212,
235
flavors.
flavors of
Burnt rubber.
One of which is
Plastic.
Yeah.
You know what else he created? The first barrel finished bourbon.
What?
He is credited with that.
Was that the Sonoma cutter?
Chardonnay and Pinot Noir cask at Woodford.
Oh, peanut nor.
Peanut Noir.
More of that kettle corn.
And then lastly, they're giving him, with Lincoln Henderson as introduction, did Woodford Reserve. Like from
Really?
the get-go.
No way.
There you go.
So-
That's all I got. Interesting facts on him.
Right now in whiskey game, unless you're getting some single barrels from someone, you're not going to get something like this at a retail release, this high age, high proof,
Right.
really good stuff that you can depend on. I think that's why it sells for as much as it does. But back to Chris Morris. That 90.4 thing for all the Woodford products, and then I know it's well documented. I may have said it on the episode when you guys had me talk about the barrel pick, but the most disappointing thing about Woodford is they let you taste 3 whiskeys at cask strength. Then they proof them down,
Yeah.
which is already
I think you were
disappointing
telling me about
enough.
this, yeah.
Me and Anthony.
And then
make you-
they make you mix them together so that you get like a 300 bottle yield of some mixture. And it's just not
But you have
like,
to mix A and B together,
Yeah.
A and C together, and then B and C together.
yeah, so you have to mix
And
them
you
and
water
taste
them down.
and water them down.
And that's the disappointing part, is the fact that like he's also involved with King Kentucky,
one of the best releases.
with Old Forester, with Jack Daniels, that does single barrels,
Yeah.
and they do barrel proof, cask strength, all that stuff. So they just don't let it do it at Woodford. I don't know,
What is the impetus behind that? Is there...
No idea.
Well, it's probably when they first started out, they want to keep that traditional flavor going. right?
Acres
It's like-
Mark
it's
has
like-
that issue.
Yeah,
problem.
it's like Jack Black.
And I say issue and problem. It's issue and problem.
But it
to me.
kind of defeats the whole purpose then, doesn't it?
Well, they should have. Our thoughts are, and I mean, I
It's like
assume
we
your
want to make
thoughts.
this experience special for you, but we also want it to be homogenized with the rest of our products.
Right.
Well, but it's
They're
like
kinda-
Jack Daniels. So Old Number 7 Black Label, like everybody knows what that is, and if you like it, you know what the taste should be.
Right.
I think that's what they're saying with Woodford. But the problem is they have so many different products now at Woodford. Why not go up and do, instead of the batch proof, or just do a single barrel strength?
Yeah.
I mean, essentially you could have, I mean, maybe not this, but something in the realm, you know?
I mean, although, because I've done 2 Woodford picks or 3 Woodford picks, although I think the stuff we had was like 6 years old, 5 years old, 7 years old, it still tasted great when it was barrel proof just on its own by itself.
Right.
Even though it's not 16 years old
Yeah.
and 12 years old, it still tasted great. But then once you add the water to it and blend it, it's like whatever one y'all want to pick. Doesn't matter.
Are you telling me to have a little
You
bit
can,
more?
you can have, we got to tell you when to drink, when to smell. You can have a little
You look
more.
like the kids when they first walk into Willy Wonka's chocolate factory room, and he's like, their eyes light up, and he's like, "You can eat anything," and he's like, "Anything?"
Anything. Exactly.
Anything that Alves orders for you.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's right. Anthony doesn't order his own food when they go on road trips.
He was
Yeah.
really upset about
Yeah.
that.
We went on a road trip.
Very upset.
It's very well documented now, but we went on
Yeah.
a road trip to pick our barrel at River
Does he have to
Roots.
feed you while you drive also? So
No,
you can
I
keep
mean-
your hands on the wheel?
I want as many people to hear this as possible because everyone's been here before, okay?
Okay.
Everyone has been here.
I can't wait to hear about it now.
I've never been there.
We
I've never
sat
been there.
down at this really nice dinner in Cleveland, Ohio. There were 2 tables. I'm sitting with I'm not sitting at the same table as Kenny and Ryan and the others. I'm with my cousin and others, right? So it's our 2 groups sitting at tables. I'm looking at this menu intensely. I'm just sitting there and I'm like, oh, the burger looks good. This looks good. That looks good. So the waitress finally comes over and I see her talking to their table. And then she comes over and grabs their menus
all
and walks
menus.
away. And I'm like, what just happened? And he's like, oh, I ordered the food. And I'm like, for everybody? Yeah.
Wait, who ordered? Did you order?
Ryan
Alves.
did. Ryan did.
Alves
did.
Alves knows. Alves.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he ordered all the food.
knows-
and so
he
food
knows what's
starts
good.
coming out. And I'm just so
You
in
are
this
very
place
trusting.
where I was like,
He didn't know. He just,
I was-
they just ordered for him.
I had drank a lot.
Yeah.
That's
I
the
had
key.
my mindset on food, all the stuff. And so I got kind of irritated by it.
Yeah.
I was like, why can't
I might also.
Upset.
I got upset.
Not irritated.
I got upset.
Irritated is masculine.
I think pissy is a scientific term. You got pissy.
It's masculine. Come on.
You got upset.
He
that
got his
night.
panties
got
in the
upset.
water. Got his panties
So I
in the
got
water.
upset,
I
but
get
the
it.
thing is I was upset and I kind of held it back. And then we got back to the house. It was the funniest thing because Alvis looked at me and he's like, what are you mad about? And I'm like, well, he's like, are you
What are you
mad?
upset about?
He actually said, what are you upset about? He goes, are you upset? He just looks at me right now. He's like, are you upset that I ordered your food? And I'm like,
Well,
yeah.
kind
I'm
of.
like, yeah, kind of. And he's like, and so now, like, I was like, oh, okay, you know, like,
Here's what we need to
cannot
know,
live
though.
that down.
Here's what we
at
need
all.
to know. What did he order you?
no, everything.
It was everything. It was a lot of good
so-
It
stuff.
was like a
tasty.
smorgasbord
Yeah.
on the table.
No, he
anyone
didn't,
that's
like, cheap
ever
out on the food
anyone's
or
ever hung out with
anything. It was
Alves.
fantastic, yeah.
So number one, the place we're picking with, they kind of picked up the bill anyway.
I got you. Okay.
But if you ever hang out with Alves, he knows not just in Lexington, go whatever city across the U.S. He knows food. He's
a foodie, yeah, he's a
a foodie. He's as foodie as much as he's a cigar guy, as a bourbon guy. So whenever he orders food, it's like it's going to be great. He's ordering plenty and a lot and all that stuff.
Never gonna let us
Anthony
down.
might not have known
It's not
that.
gonna be like our beer
I'll
trip.
do that.
What would you have ordered though?
The same stuff.
I really had my.
He don't
No,
know
it's
what
gonna
he'd
be some
order.
bullshit with like
No,
a cranberry
really-
salad with like
When I was
goat
at,
cheese.
like some goat cheese on it or something like that.
A little few pecans.
A
Do you guys
gyro.
have a do you guys have a light
gyro.
bulb?
A gyro.
oh, you're killing me. It would have just been a burger or something. You know what I mean?
Oh.
And there was
wasn't-
burger ordered to
there
the
was-
table.
There was, but I mean, it's still,
He's
they're
like,
just
but I
sharing
wanted
it.
to do it.
I don't know. Listen, to
So
go
now
back
we
to
don't
that
let him
time,
order any of his own food.
I don't know what was going on, but they've harassed me nonstop. Like even we were doing our best of blinds.
Went to White
Like,
Castle. We ordered the food.
They
for
ordered
him.
the food at that White Castle. Like at his house, there was a bunch of food upstairs. Like I'm gonna bring you a plate. I'm gonna fix you a plate and bring it downstairs. I'm like, no, you're not gonna do that.
The last time I had food ordered for me, it was actually also from White Castle.
Okay.
But I was nestled in the back of a car after a beer fest between this Jason and another Jason that was twice as big as
you were
him.
passed off.
We were in the back of like a Ford Fiesta, and I was riding bitch in the middle like this, and I was drunk, and I was hot because there was like body heat everywhere. I felt like I was an embryo, and I just started falling asleep, and I was like, y'all just fucking order whatever, and I'll just eat it. And we ordered, 30 sliders?
Oh, we got two cases, the Crave cases. We got two Crave cases, I believe.
Yeah, so that was ordered for
It was
me, but I
also
happy.
45 minutes in the drive-thru. Like, it took us that long
I took
in
a nap,
Illinois.
so I was fine with it. That was
See,
good.
I didn't know that you guys liked White Castle for drunk food as well. So
Oh,
there you
yeah.
go. We all share that.
We're good with whatever we can find when we're drinking.
We'll do a
yeah.
White Castle episode for
100%.
number one.
I think I've told y'all the hack, right? Or I've told you the hack.
Yeah.
So you order the cheese sliders. You take top buns off, put the two bottoms together. Because the top bun has no flavor.
It's like a double
All the oil, all the
cheeseburger
grease, all the good stuff on the bottom bun. So you're putting two bottom buns together. It's boom.
Nice.
So, yeah.
Just throw the other shit away.
Plus cut the carbs in half, That's a good thing.
When you're on your cranberry fucking salad by yourself.
You worried about carbs at White Castle?
You're at the wrong castle, sir.
Damn.
fucking
White Castle would take your bottle of King of Kentucky over there.
Yeah.
Bad joke. King of the Castle.
That's good.
Yeah, if you're at White Castle worrying about calories, you're in the wrong place.
Right. Damn. This is.
This is great, man. I appreciate you bringing this.
Oh, yeah,
along.
for
This is
sure. Hell, I'm glad to
delectable
open this.
Congratulations on episode number 100.
Yeah, for you too, man.
Nice.
Look at their fist pump. Boop.
That's awesome, man.
Guys, we appreciate you coming on the
Yeah.
show a lot.
Oh, yeah.
We'll make sure give a shout out to their show. Stuff
Yeah.
going down.
The Mashup podcast. Is there like a handle?
So we're at the Mashup KY.
Okay.
On Instagram, we also have a YouTube channel that we just launched, even though it's just
Nice!
audio. It's just
Right,
audio.
yeah.
We're on Spotify. We're on all major platforms, Amazon. We love to read our reviews online. So if anybody gives us a listen, give us a listen.
Yeah, or if you want to talk shit about Anthony's ordering habits.
Yeah, if you want to talk about that.
Or just talk shit about Anthony. That's fine.
If you want to talk about the fact that I got so much hair and Kenny has none, all these things.
I'm right in between here.
Yeah, there you go. I love you, man. I love you. But no, we would love to have people, find us and listen, give us a
man.
listen
Yeah,
because
appreciate you coming,
it means
man.
a lot. And we are big supporters of yours. And congratulations
Likewise.
on
Yeah, likewise.
100 episodes. I
Yeah.
know I've enjoyed kind of going on this journey together with you guys. And
Yeah.
I'm always trading notes with this guy all the time
yeah.
about how things are going between our respective shows, and it's fantastic. So
Yeah,
love it.
if you guys are into bourbon at all, you need to check them out. They do much more deep dives in the bourbon, whereas we're a little more broad and stuff.
We're a little more drunk.
For more Arsenic Culture, you can check us out on all the socials. We are at Arsenic Culture, and we will see you on the next one.